In the early 911 days, the 356 customer base requested a cheaper 911 model to equal the 356 price point. Porsche replied with a 912, basically a 911 with a 356 engine. The 912 was cheaper, but it still missed the mark, and Porsche knew that developing a new car would be cost prohibitive, so they asked to partner with Volkswagen to reach their goal. Volkswagen was smitten by the idea of offering a sports car developed by Porsche with Volkswagen's parts, so a deal was struck and the Volkswagen Porsche 914 was introduced in September 1969. Simply named the Porsche 914 in the USA, this little two-seater mid-rear engine rear-wheel drive with a Targa top was all built by Carmen. The Porsche 914 had an awkward look, but it screamed sports car with its very low-to-the-ground stature, pop-up headlights, and width for its size. The front fenders were raised and finished slanted with turning signals by the headlights. Behind the occupants was a short roofline serving as a roll bar, and the flat rear lid ended straight with two rectangular taillights. Inside the Porsche 914, the interior space was just adequate for two adults. 3 dials with the RPM dial right in the middle fitted into a wide rectangular binnacle welcomed you. No center console could be found, and the gear shifter came straight out of the tunnel console with no more special treatment than the usual rubber accordion at its base. The 914 flat 4-cylinder pushrod engine came from Volkswagen. This one had a 1.7-liter or 102 cubic inch capacity at first, producing 80 horsepower at 4,900 RPM and made it to a painstaking 5-speed dogleg gearbox. Performance was in the Volkswagen department with a 0 to 62 mph time in 13 seconds and a top speed of 109 mph or 175 km/h. Alongside the Flat 4, Volkswagen Porsche introduced the 914-6. This model had a Porsche 911T flat 6 2-liter or 121 cubic inch motor developing 110 horsepower at 5,800 RPM and moved the game higher with 9 seconds to reach to 62 mph and a new top speed of 127 mph or 205 km/h. The Porsche 914-6 was also better equipped with vinyl on the roll bar, chrome bumpers and fog lights, leather steering wheel and Porsche Fuchs wheel. The 914-6 didn't sell much though, with just over 3,300 cars sold in 3 years due to its high price tag approaching 911's money. The 914-6 was dropped in 1972 in favor of the 1973 2-liter or 120 cubic inch Volkswagen Flat 4 engine making 95 horsepower at 5,000 RPM in US and 100 horsepower in Europe. Performance was better than the 1.7 Flat 4 with now 10.5 seconds needed to reach 62 mph and 118 mph or 190 km/h in top speed, but aside from the improved Volkswagen engine figures, this 914 was much easier to operate with a new and less sloppy 5-speed transmission. Also in 1973, anti-roll bars were added, improving greatly the handling, and a center console with gauges found its way in the cabin. Then, in 1974, the 1.7-liter got replaced by a 1.8-liter or 109 cubic inch Flat 4, mainly to compensate the catalytic converter in the USA. It developed 76 horsepower in the US and 85 PS in Europe. Again, in 1974, rubber pads appeared on the US model's rear bumper, and in 1975, US 914s received ugly front and back rear bumpers. The end arrived in 1975 in Europe and 76 for the US, and while the 914 and 914-6 never caught up with the snob Porsche crowd, it still sold almost 119,000 units and could handle better than the 911 when set up properly.